Bronx drill is one of the hottest sounds coming out of New York. Even though most fans credit K-Flock or Ron Suno with starting the wave, others credit a dude named Spazz Drilly, a certified gangster who's currently fighting 2 murders after being targeted in a massive takedown. Here's the story of Spazz Drilly, the demon of New York. Spazz Drilly grew up in the G-side neighborhood of the Bronx, one of the wildest areas in the city. It's a small place, but has many active gangs. Bloods, Crips, YGs, and more all function in the same area, so it's always tension. Even dudes who rep the same gang but live in different hoods got beef with each other, like Sex Money Murder members from Seth Side going after Sex Money Murder dudes from G Side. Spazz grew up going by the name Spazz Jet because he repped the Bloodhound Brims, which is a blood set under the New York Brim Army. They had sets all over the city, and back in the day, the Bloodhound Brims were one of the most ruthless gangs in the city. But in 2019, they took some major L's when their founder and several other high-ranking members got convicted on racketeering, drugs, and weapon charges. A dude named Latique Johnson, aka Lil Brim, was their leader. He started the crew while he was locked up, and they quickly gained a reputation for being a brutal set. The U.S. Attorney's Office said Lil Brim founded a notoriously violent and lawless gang from within the New York State prison system that grew to terrorize communities across New York City and New York State. As the founder and leader of the Bloodhound Brims, Johnson recruited members based on their violent reputations and willingness to follow his orders. Lil Brim is also the dude who started using the term whoopty. CJ made it blow up when he released a track with the same name, but Lil Brim accused him of jacking it from him. In the call from jail, Brim said,
"So first and foremost, CJ made a hot song, but the content that he used, that's not his content. So his foundation is based off a lie. He's not whoopty. He don't know nothing about whoopty. He just seen a fly splash and he jacked it."
By the time he was 17, Spazz already had respect in G-Side, and his homie Dumb Out was high up in the Brims too. The two of them been tight since they was kids, and allegedly, they also jumped Lil TJ together. But when you in the streets, it's usually only 2 outcomes, death or jail. And in 2018, Dumb Out was tragically killed at a Memorial Day cookout. According to the building superintendent where Dumb Out was killed, a group of teenagers was having a cookout in the courtyard when a fight broke out over a game. The fight was allegedly between Dumb Out and the Crip, and the Crip ended up stabbing himself several times in the chest. Paramedics rushed him to the hospital, but they ain't make it in time, and he was pronounced dead that night. Dumb Out's real name was Damian Gilbert, and his death was a major loss to the community. His mom told the New York Post, "He was a wonderful big brother. He was a wonderful son. He was loved by many people. We are hurting. I don't think this pain will ever go away." Another family member said he had recently worked at a Dollar Tree in the area, but it sounds like the street life sucked him in. Dumb Out was cool to a lot of people, and his death caused a split between different sets in the area. But instead of picking a side, Spazz decided to start his own crew in honor of his dead homie. He created the Drillies, and later, they linked up with the YGs to make the Drilli Gs. The Drillies was originally supposed to be a music collective, but the cops classified them as a street gang immediately because they already had a target on Spazz. Spazz has been making music since 2016, but in 2020, he had his first hit with the track Bunny Hop. It's one of the first Bronx drill songs to really pop off, and they let the Shy EK, K-Flock, and B-Love all drop in their first songs just a couple months later. Around this time, the Drillies and YGs was beefing with the OGs in DOA. Spazz dropped the track Op Spotter and went after all the Drillies' enemies. Then K-Flock and B-Love sent shots back on a remix of the track. In his verse, K-Flock went straight at Spazz with the lines, "Shooting off of eyesight, the way I bend blocks like, got me on highs like, don't bunny hop, you get shot on the spot." And B-Love did the same thing, rapping, "KK be with me, that boy make it active. If we catch a op, we put him in a casket. Going 50 for 50, the ass hit the pavement like mattress. Make him bunny hop into a backflip." They were sending disses back and forth in music, but the beef also had deadly real life consequences. In July 2020, an alleged Crip and DOA member named James Rivera was shot and killed on East Gun Hill Road. The police responded to the scene and found him unconscious with a gunshot wound in the back, and he died later that day after they rushed him to the hospital. News 12 reported that Rivera was arguing with 3 dudes when someone started dumping shots. Witnesses told Norwood News that over dozens of shots went off, and the police ran out of evidence markers because there were so many shell casings on the ground. One witness said it was the Dominican guys that hang on East 209th Street who just wanted to rob a 24-year-old guy. He pulls out a gun and shot 3 times, and the guys from 209th Street fired 12 times, killing him. There was rumors about different sets being involved, but on August 12th, the NYPD announced they arrested Spazz Drilly and 3 others for the murder. He's been locked up on Rikers Island ever since for murder and racketeering charges after the cops brought down an 82-count indictment called Operation Drilly. The indictment named 20 alleged members of the Drillies and accused them of being involved in multiple shootings and stabbings that spanned 3 years. Bronx District Attorney Darcel Clark said in a press release, These defendants allegedly engaged in dozens of acts of violence, including murder and attempted murder, over the last 3 years, with the most recent just a few weeks ago. These defendants terrorized residents of the Fordham Bedford Park neighborhoods who were forced to run for their lives as bullets flew. Some of the charges in the indictment are conspiracy, murder, manslaughter, attempted murder, assault, and grand larceny. And the Bronx police also listed a few of the crimes that the Drillies was allegedly involved in. The first crime listed in the press release dated back to January 2019, when 4 Drillies allegedly confronted a CUNY prep student when he left school and tried to steal his jacket, then attacked him with knives and other weapons before running away. They almost killed the dude, but luckily, he was given blood transfusions that saved his life. Spazz was also arrested for the murder of a dude named James Rivera, but now they're charging 6 Drillies for being involved. According to the cops, 4 of them shot at Rivera and 1 of them tried to stab him when he collapsed to the ground. Another interesting detail in the press release was the fact that the Drillies been charged with the murder of Delilah Vasquez. Delilah ain't rep no set, but she hung out with a lot of people who did and was close friends with D-Thang. There's been all kinds of rumors about who killed her and why, but the cops think the Drillies are responsible. The press release says, on March 17, 2012, 4 defendants went to an apartment on Hull Avenue and allegedly shot Delilah Vasquez, 20, at close range in the forehead, killing her. Video surveillance shows the defendants allegedly entering and fleeing the building. According to the cops, 2021 was a wild year for the Drillies. On June 28th, they allegedly let off shots at an op on DeKalb Avenue and ended up hitting 3 innocent bystanders. Then, on October 22nd, 2 of them allegedly waited outside of a barbershop on Gun Hill Road for 15 minutes before going in and shooting the op who was getting a haircut. One of them shot him in the stomach, then passed the gun over to his homie, who shot the op in the leg. Then, in April 2021, 3 Drillies allegedly jumped a rival gang member while they was all locked up at Rikers Island. While the massive indictment against them is bad enough, now the Drillies got internal beef too. Say Drilli hopped on Instagram recently and wrote, "I'm no Drilli because I'm the top Drilli. They know who putting on, it's a difference." Then he followed up with, "Respectfully, Spazz is nobody to me. I don't give a f about that. Free my Drillies, free Lee, free Nas, free True, free MB. I don't dick ride no man. I'm the top Drilli. Whoever feel away, know my block." Spazz clapped back the next day by tagging Say Drilli on Instagram and saying, "As Say Drilli is not no fucking Drilli. You're smoking a little too much Lil Loke via SD. Lil Loke is allegedly the Crip that Spazz and the other Drillies killed. He basically letting everyone know that he's still running the Drilli crew and Say ain't even affiliated with them. It'll probably be a while before any of this goes to trial, but Spazz and the other Drillies are facing some serious charges. If he's convicted on the conspiracy or murder charges, he could end up with a life sentence, so hopefully he got a good lawyer. With 20 of them getting indicted all at once, the Drillies took a huge blow. After Spazz went down on the murder charge back in 2020, Lee Drilli stepped up and started putting on for the crew with music. He popped off with tracks like Drilli Gang Freestyle, a remix of 50's Many Men, and Public Service Announcement. Lee also had a track with Say Drilli called Deadly that blew up and almost has 2 million views on YouTube. But now Lee is locked up with everyone else, and Say is beefing with Spazz. So the Drillies really don't have anyone free to hold it down. Every time a big indictment like this gets handed down, rumors start flying around that someone must be snitching. Right now, it don't look like anyone's cooperating with the police, but when so many dudes are involved in the same case, there's always a chance one of them will flip. It's gonna be hard for Spazz to beat 2 murder cases and everything else, but if he do get out, he still got the skills to really blow up. He was one of the first rappers to put Bronx drill on the map, and there's no telling how big he would be if he didn't get locked up right after he started going viral. This is a massive case, and more details will be coming soon, so stay posted for updates.